Hey guys, 9017 here. Don't mind the glasses, these are just blue light glasses. I've been having headaches recently and, I've been trying to decrease my strain of my eyes with a screen, so just don't mind them. Today, I wanted to do a different kind of a video, one that wasn't really Nano World or Nano Nico 17 really related or anything that had to do with plushies or anything. I wanted to do something that surrounded my just genuine love for filmmaking. For those who know me well, I've been doing filmmaking for almost all of my life, and I've had a preference of movies that I've liked and movies that I haven't liked. And just recently, I watched a video from one of my favorite YouTubers slash filmmakers slash film reviewers. You may know him, Cinemassacre. He inspired me to really get into the filmmaking scene when I was about 11 or 12, and he's really upped up my ante for films ever since. And he had a video that was sort of about his top 10 movies that he didn't find amazing, although the media did for some type of reason. And being so, I was inspired to make a video that was somewhat similar, to make a list of movies that are known, very popular, and are very famous for, but I didn't find all that spectacular. Now, before I dive into my own list of movies that I didn't love, I want to say that I don't hate any of these movies. None of these movies do I think are terrible or seriously god-awful. It's just my own personal opinion of not finding them entertaining, or they weren't really my style. And last but not least, I wanted to say that this is just an opinion. This doesn't determine whether or not this movie is actually bad. This was just going through the lens of my own eyes of watching this film, whatever it is. So, let's get into my list of top few movies that I didn't love. Number 6 is Mission Impossible. Don't get it twisted. I love watching Tom Cruise. The Mission Impossible movies were the first Tom Cruise movies I'd ever seen. The action scenes are entertaining, and I love how all the fight scenes are very realistic, and they're not super flashy like Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee. Aside from that, I don't really like the stories of the movies. Some of them are just a little too confusing and also boring. There's so much talking in the movies, yet they expect the audience to be able to understand every single special term that the characters are talking about their agency or whatever in the movie. When I watched the first movie, I was thinking, Mission Impossible is one of the most famous action series of all time. There's got to be something amazing from the first film that everybody was breathtaking away in order to have the span of all the Mission Impossible movies that are out now. And then I watched it, and it just sort of left me with, what was that all about? I didn't really understand the entire problem or the solution that happens in the movie, so I was just kind of watching the movie with a blank space the whole entire time. That being said, I continued to watch all of the rest of the movies in the series to see if there was anything better, if they made anything, more spectacular about the movie. And then when I finished all of them, I realized that there were small improvements in each movie, but nonetheless, all of them had that same feeling of, well, what was that all about? Mission Impossible is definitely entertaining when it comes to the action, but for me, it's just a bit too complicated, and I don't think it's for the simple-minded. Number 5, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I want to make it clear, I love time travel movies. My favorite movie from Hollywood of all time is Back to the Future. So when I approached Bill and Ted for the first time, I thought, this should be a fun and comedic time travel movie. What could go wrong? And I watched it, and I actually did like the plot, but I have to say, I wasn't that entertained. Some of it, from what I remember, didn't feel all that awesome, and it just kind of felt meh at times. That may have just been due to the fact that my expectations for time travel films were high because of my love for Back to the Future, but even so, I couldn't exactly figure out what made this movie so iconic to be what it is now. Maybe it was just the silliness of the characters that made the movie so famous. But in my opinion, I think there should be a lot more than just silliness to make a movie famous. Number 4, Fight Club. I swear, I don't mean to say this without proper reasoning. I absolutely love Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. They are two individual actors that I highly respect to a certain level. I'd always heard of the iconic line of, "We do not talk about Fight Club," and so forth. So I wanted to watch the movie to, see what all the hullabaloo was all about. And I mean this in the most respectful way possible. I didn't like it. The story was weird, the characters were, the twist at the end of the movie was especially weird. Everything about the movie just felt sort of weird. When the movie ended the way that it did, I was just sort of like, wait, what? It didn't feel like a proper closure to a movie. Now, I know the movie is supposed to have some sort of deep meaning behind it, but I feel like not everyone was going to get that. It just wasn't all that entertaining of a movie, nor did it really make any sense. But I highly respect this movie for what it is. However, I just know for myself that I won't ever be watching it again. Number 3, A Quiet Place. When I first heard of this movie back in 2018, I thought the premises of the movie was interesting and unique. A post-apocalyptic horror film that is set in a world where blind monsters have inhabited the world and they have supersonic hearing, making it a difficult setting for the characters to live in. Not only that, but it's also directed by a very famous actor, John Krasinski, an actor who comes from the famous and well-known series, The Office. It made for a good premise, but when I watched it, I felt like it didn't really live up to its full expectation. It had so much hype that was built up from the time being, but I felt like there were some parts of the movie that didn't live up to its full potential. It was ranked as one of the top 10 movies from 2018. Now, I can understand as being one of the greatest movies from 2018, but I personally would not put it anywhere near or close to at least the top 5 from 2018. Number 2, Jason Bourne. When I was first told about this movie, I assumed that it was just an action flick series that had Matt Damon as the lead star. The story being about a man with an unknown background with a dangerous past made me very intrigued to see and figure out, who this guy was. But when I watched The Bourne Identity for the first time, I kid you not, I almost fell asleep watching it. For me, it felt like it wasn't really something that I could finish in one sitting. I had to split up all the times of watching the movie because I was just not that entertained by it. I seriously wanted to like the movie, but it just wasn't doing it for me. I never really got the chance to watch any of the other Bourne movies, so maybe there's just something that I haven't discovered yet that I'm missing. And last but not least, The Dark Knight. Just like James's video, I liked it. But when I found out that it was apparently ranked as one of the greatest movies of all time, I had to dive in and do a little bit more research to figure out what made this movie so special. It's a great Batman movie, definitely, but why does it beat so many other great films? It's been rated on IMDb as number 3, right next to The Godfather and The Shawshank Redemption. When I watched the movie to figure out what all the fuss was about, I couldn't find anything that was really greatness worthy. I love Christian Bale as Batman. He was the Batman that my generation grew up on. But honestly, I would choose Batman Begins over The Dark Knight any day. All in all, The Dark Knight was good, but that's it. So that was just a few of the movies that were very well known that I didn't exactly find awesome. Now, like I said, it doesn't mean that I hate any of these movies. I just personally didn't find them super entertaining or could never figure out the reason why it did so well that it did. Now, before I close off this video, I want to tell everybody that this is just my opinion. It doesn't mean that my opinion is any greater than anybody else's. Matter of fact, I highly recommend you guys watch these movies for yourself to figure out what you think exactly made these movies so great. because if I couldn't find it, then maybe somebody else can, and they can explain it. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I will see you guys in another video sometime soon. Nanic17 here, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.